Today we're going to take you through the South Florida luxury and ultra-luxury condo market. My name is Sep Niakan, owner and broker of Black Book Properties and founder of condoblackbook.com. And I'm here with my Director of Luxury Sales, Stephanie Bienstock.
Hello.
Hello, and
Thanks
thank you
for having me.
Yes. We're going to talk about what it means to have a luxury condo in Miami and South Florida in terms of price point, amenities, locations, pre-construction properties, as well as existing products. So let's get to it. So Stephanie, what does owning a luxury condo in South Florida mean today?
The luxury condo market is really about details and for me, uniqueness. You know, what makes certain buildings stand out over others. The features of the interiors and the common areas is a big component. The amenities are a huge component as well. How can these buildings stand out over the others? And
can you give some examples of those?
Sure. The features, balcony sizes, floor plans, large master bedrooms and closets, somewhere where somebody could really feel comfortable in making it their residence. Very high ceilings, lots of glass, lots of natural light. It's what most people are expecting in the luxury market. So I think for the most part, most luxury buildings are doing that very well. Then when it comes to amenities, all of the buildings are offering, you know, a different level of amenities. Of course, if you want to be between the 2 million and 5 million price point, you are going to have options as far as amenities. We can say you would have a full service gym, 24-hour concierge front desk attendant, most likely valet service. So I think these are the most common amenities. The newer the project is, and depending on the location, you are going to start seeing maybe 2 pools versus 1 pool. So you are able to get sunlight in the morning versus sunlight in the afternoons. You will see maybe indoor pools. I know there's a few buildings that are now offering indoor pools, tennis courts, these sort of amenities. So
yeah, now you have paddle and also racquetball courts popping up as well.
Exactly.
But back to, I think you mentioned luxury is about the details. And getting to the details of some of the things you mentioned, for example, balconies. You go to a typical mid-market building and you're getting 4-foot, maybe 6-foot deep balconies.
Correct.
And then, you know, even if they span across the whole unit, it's only a few feet deep. And it's not quite livable. One of the details is true livable balconies, right? 8-foot, 10-foot, 15-foot deep balconies. As you get into the luxury and ultra-luxury properties, the balconies just get larger and larger and become an extension of your living space. You can actually have outdoor kitchens and you have
dining room tables, chase lounges. It's an extension of the living space, and developers really do need to offer this because I feel most people that are coming to Miami looking for luxury condos, they might be downsizing from a single family home. They may be retiring. They might be buying their dream property, waterfront condo, and they don't want to feel like they don't have outdoor space. They're also moving here to take advantage of the weather. It gives them an opportunity to actually enjoy the water and the weather by having large balconies.
Absolutely. 80% of the reason people move down here is for the weather, right? And then, of course, the no state income taxes is wonderful as well. In terms of other details, we talked about kitchens. What are you seeing in the realm of kitchens that stands out these properties, luxury and ultra-luxury properties, from a typical mid-market condo?
Gas is a huge feature, wonderful feature, anybody who loves to cook. And I feel more and more that, you know, cuisine is becoming a big, for entertaining and also just passion for a lot of people. Maybe after COVID, people just, you know, took up the hobby of cooking. Gas stoves are really important to somebody who would consider themselves a chef and likes to entertain.
Yeah, the folks coming from older cities might find it surprising that electric is the typical way to go here in South Florida as a newer city. And so gas is actually something that is truly an exclusive feature that they offer typically in the more exclusive condo buildings.
Right. And I would also say enclosed kitchens is also a trend that's starting to come into the market now for luxury buildings, for entertaining purposes as well. The idea of having the open floor plan concept was wonderful. If you were in a condo, or if you are in a condo on the water while you're in your kitchen, you could see the view. and you didn't feel like you were missing out on having the view. But it really does limit somebody who is interested in entertaining, because they can't cook and hide the mess, when the guests come over. So enclosed kitchens are becoming more of a trend. I feel that
really flex kitchens, right? Because some of them, they open and close as you need.
Correct.
See fit. Some are glass enclosed, some are
Correct.
fully enclosed.
The Residences at 1428 Brickell is doing the stackable doors, and there'll be frosted glass, so it won't feel like your only option is to be enclosed. If you want to see the view, you leave the doors open, and if you're having guests, you just close them, or if you're having staff,
correct,
helping you entertain.
So speaking of that, some of the things that, especially as you get into the 10 million, 20 million and plus properties, you get a very intentional floor plan that takes into consideration service, potentially live-in maids, private chefs, and so on that would come over. So there's a lot of those little details that come into play as well.
They'll have their own separate service entrance. They will have direct access to a service area where they're able to do your laundry and clean for you. And they will also, some of these buildings even offer the service. So if you don't have this connection or contact and haven't really established yourself in Miami yet, one of the wonderful things about being in these luxury buildings is the concierges will help you find the, in-home chef and the cleaning staff or the catering crew that needs to come in and help you entertain. So I would think that's another definition of luxury, is what services are being offered by the building staff and the concierge. And any of them that are affiliated with a hotel brand right now are offering a relationship with that hotel brand to travel to other properties that are represented by Rosewood or the Ritz-Carlton, the St. Regis's, all around the world. You become a member, and there's a lot of membership benefits being offered. But then in addition to that, while you're living here, the staff is fully trained in this resort-like lifestyle. So they're able to really give you that experience as if you were staying in a resort, but you're at home and this is your primary residence. And you just pick up the phone and you explain to them what you need, and it feels like you're in a hotel and have butler service, but you're really just, this is your primary residence. So I think it's really a beautiful combination of two worlds for people that love to travel, but also love to be at home.
Right, absolutely. And then you have properties like Rivage and Bal Harbour that are not necessarily branded or associated with the hospitality brand, but they're very exclusive, and the expectation is that you will get a similar level of service and attention that you would also in some of these other branded properties and hospitality.
Absolutely. There's many condos that are doing it very, very well. So speaking of Rivage, it only has around 60 residences. And I think any buyer that's shopping for a luxury condo in Miami should know that they have those options. It's not something that maybe comes to mind when a buyer is thinking of purchasing in a condominium. They assume that these buildings are very large and that they won't have the exclusivity that they probably love to have, or the intimate service from the staff, or that they're going to be fighting for a chair at the beach. And it's the complete opposite. Most of the buildings that are being delivered in the luxury market now are less than 100 residences, and they're on very big pieces of land. They will offer full service amenities, so you essentially have these amenities to yourself, and the service of the concierge and the valet drivers. You don't have to wait a long time for your car, and it's really nice. And I feel that most buyers are surprised when they start shopping for a condo. They don't realize that these beautiful, lavish, buildings are going up, and they will only have 60 or 70 residences. But that's what the luxury market means now. If you're shopping above $5 million and your budget could afford that, you are really going to get very, very intimate, lavish amenities and a beautiful, architecturally beautiful property on the water. So I think that's something that's very important to point out and describe the luxury market now, is exclusivity, privacy, and very intimate service from the staff.
So you mentioned a few times the idea of full service resort living. That's pretty much a pitch that every building in Miami does provide in a certain sense.
Okay.
But you've mentioned some things that once you get into the higher price points, make the buildings stand out. And we've talked about some of them. You mentioned beach service. So beach service you're typically going to get in most beachfront buildings, but then you also have some buildings that are off the beach. And in many cases, you're going to be either given access to a beach club, regardless of if you're actually beachfront or not. And then when we're talking about some of the amenities, it's going back to the details again. One building might have what they call a pool and a spa, which is just a jacuzzi, a little locker room, maybe a steam room and sauna. But then you go to a more opulent, more exclusive property, and you're getting a full hammam, full service spa with
cold plunge,
jacuzzi,
fitness classes with trainers,
indoor pool, heated, like an actual spa exclusively for residents.
Right. The properties that are not on the ocean also offer pool service, so you're able to have umbrellas and towels and chairs at the pool. So there are services that do compensate for not necessarily being on the ocean, which, is also makes you feel like you are in a luxury building, regardless if you can necessarily go down to the beach or not. There are amenities on both sides. And to a buyer's advantage, I feel that most developers are really competing with each other on who can give the coolest amenities, the most usable amenities, the most unique amenities. And I think that that's really to a buyer's advantage now, because you're going to be able to find exactly what you're looking for in most of the buildings that are being offered right now.
Yeah, I think that's the simplest way to say it. You're going to get exactly what you're looking for as the price points go up. You have pet walking services. You have, in some cases, actually pet grooming services in the building.
The Michelin star restaurants. So you don't have to leave the property if you want to have dinner. And the really nice thing is that the restaurants aren't boring, because sometimes they're open to the public and they're able to actually have a really nice dining experience without going too far in a really popular or trendy restaurant. So I know a lot of buildings are offering that now as well.
Absolutely.
And they'll have, grills for the beach, for your basic salads and smoothies and those sort of meals as well while you're at the pool or the beach.
So now let's talk a little bit about neighborhoods. What are your favorite neighborhoods right now?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
There's lots of favorite neighborhoods for different reasons. I would say the most up and coming favorite neighborhood of mine right now is Bay Harbor Islands. It's transitioning into a luxury market, which is really nice to see. They are only offering boutique buildings, low density, full service amenities, luxury buildings, which is very new for the neighborhood. Okay, so the neighborhood, probably for the past 20 years, it's an island. It's right next to Bal Harbor. It's walkable to Bal Harbor Mall, Bal Harbor Shops. It's been a long time coming that, developers are noticing the potential that it has.
It's a great price point for those that want something brand new, extraordinary,
right,
but not quite there on the budget for beachfront.
Correct, and to be on the water and have the water view, and from your balcony see Jeff Bezos paddling by, outside your window, because it is next to one of the, or if not the most exclusive waterfront island, which is Indian Creek Island, where he lives. It has its own police department, so it's very safe, and
some good schools.
Good schools as well, if that's important. Lots of new cafes and restaurants coming. So I feel that it is it's definitely my favorite up and coming neighborhood. For beachfront neighborhood, I'm really excited to see the transformation in South Beach. So the Raleigh Hotel, the Delano, and this whole strip of Collins Avenue for a while now. The Shore Club, there was a lot of missing teeth. And I think that these hotels, it was really a matter of time. And I feel like it's a great time in the market to deliver ultra luxury residences with the neighborhood actually supporting the lifestyle all at once. So you'll have the Ritz that's coming up, and you have the Rosewood, and you have the Shelbourne, and you have the Shore Club. You have all these buildings, all of it happening at once.
And these are residences adjacent to the hotel.
Correct. So the Raleigh will have the hotel in the front and the condominium in the back. Very private, not connected to the hotel, but all of the services and the amenities. And it's a Rosewood brand that the Raleigh is partnering up with. And they're bringing in the best of the best. I mean, these developers, when they're delivering this ultra luxury product, they're getting very creative on the architecture and the design, which is really impressive.
And when we're talking about ultra luxury, what are we talking about price points in these particular buildings starting at roughly?
8 million and up. You can go all the way, I would say, between 8 and 25 million, depending on the size of the floor plan that you want. You can be in a brand like Ritz-Carlton, directly on the ocean, and starting at 8 million, and then it can go all the way up to about 25. Again, these buildings are, some of them are 60 and under residences. They're very small. The buildings are very small. The floor plans are very spacious. So in order for them to cater to the demand of people actually wanting to live here, but have this resort lifestyle, it's no longer catering to the second and third and fourth homeowners. It's people actually saying, I want to spend a few months out of the year in these properties or move here. So they're meeting the demand of large units.
And then we have neighborhoods that were, we have the classic neighborhoods that everyone knows as the exclusive neighborhoods, south of 5th and South Beach. You have Bal Harbor. Then you have Surfside and North Beach, which were kind of sleepy areas for quite a long time. What's been going on over there?
Surfside has really stepped into the market and gone into the ultra luxury. It's almost like they bypassed the middle of the luxury market. But surprisingly, you can be in Surfside for under $2 million and be on the ocean. It'll be a little bit of an older building. I'm not saying, anything from the 60s or the 70s. We can say 80s and 90s and still be in Surfside directly on the ocean. But then it immediately jumps. So it immediately jumps to the 10 plus. But then you're getting the Four Seasons brand, and you're getting, ultra luxury services and amenities. Fendi Chateau. One thing people should know is that, Surfside was originally developed to be that second, third vacation home owner. And so the residences were smaller. You're talking under 1,500 square feet. All of the new luxury buildings are going to be over 3,000 and some of them. So the price point jumps, but you're also getting a lot more space as well for your money.
So now as we move north from Bal Harbor, we get into Sunny Isles.
Right, which immediately starts to feel a little bit more grand. The buildings are a bit taller. The architecture of the buildings are mostly glass. They're not large buildings as far as number of units. Most of them are under 200, but you have, the Ritz-Carlton and the St. Regis. You have the Bentley residences coming to the market. So it starts to really feel lavish and grand as, you drive up Collins Avenue and, you only have one road and you start to see many of these towers going up that are so different. They're all very different in their own ways, but they're mostly all glass, and they have beautiful driveways and entrances to the buildings, and very sleek.
Yeah.
Most of them. It feels modern, but you also have your traditional style buildings as well.
Yeah, you have the Karl Lagerfeld designed Aquilina complex. Has 3 different buildings built over the past 15 years or so.
Right.
I think you'd hit the nail on the head. One of the things that sets Sunny Isles apart is that you get high-rise buildings, whereas in the beaches further south, Bal Harbor, Surfside, Miami Beach, and so on, the density is lower. The zoning doesn't allow for as tall of buildings. And so that creates an environment where you have maybe more optionality in Sunny Isles.
Sure, you can be on the 30th floor, the 40th floor, sometimes even the 50th floor, but you could also appreciate a low floor. And again, they're not buildings with many units. We're talking about maybe 200 and under for most of the towers. But you have that option of, some of them offer west views, so you have expansive western views. So you have beautiful sunset views, downtown of Miami skyline views. So being in a taller building does matter in a lot of locations because of the views that it offers once you get to a certain height.
Absolutely. So speaking of downtown, we have Edgewater, downtown, Brickell, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, that whole greater downtown area and the nearby suburbs.
Okay, so we'll come off the ocean a bit and let's kind of give some perspective. When you come off the ocean, you are now going to have the option of Biscayne Bay views, which is wide bay in most areas, and I'm a little bit biased, but Edgewater would be my favorite, especially up and coming. There are a lot of luxury projects that are coming out into the market, and in all price ranges, even with brands. The Addition is coming to Edgewater, which will, be affiliated with a hotel brand, and that's really exciting. You have Villa Miami Residences, which will be, also exclusive.
Half floor and full floor residences only.
Half floor and full floor residences, but you don't have to purchase pre-construction to be in Edgewater, to be in luxury. You have Elysee, which are also half floor residences, only 99 units. Condos per building. Same concept, you can be directly on the water, unobstructed water views in a luxury building, full service, and I would say the starting point would be 2.5 or 3 million, depending on which tower you're in. So you have lots of luxury options. If you don't need to go downstairs and put your feet in the sand and you don't want to spend as much, you can definitely have beautiful unobstructed water views.
And then as we head into downtown, we have what sticks out to me is all of the amenities you get in terms of true urban living and being connected with culture and arts. Although you get a lot of that in Miami Beach too, certainly. But you have Perez Art Museum, you have the Museum of Science, you have the Casella Center where the Miami Heat play and all the major
Symphony, the Adrian Arch. So it is our arts and cultural district, and that's how they've named it, and they've really done a great job of developing the entire neighborhood into that, and it's all walkable. So if you want to have entertainment constantly, whether it's a Broadway show or a music concert or be at a museum, downtown is definitely the place for you.
And then in terms of the existing product, we have 1000 Museum, which was the first true high luxury property there with only half floor and full floor residences. Now Aston Martin just launched as well. That's an exciting new addition to the downtown Miami skyline. It's a beautiful sort of a cruise ship style shaped building.
Sleek and modern.
Very modern, and larger residences as well. And then you have, I guess, the most impactful building on the downtown skyline, which will be the Waldorf Astoria Residences, which again is residences, not a hotel, but there is a portion of the building that is going to be a hotel. It's a super tall, these stacked cubes. It's going to be pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
So now we're heading into Brickell.
Brickell has really changed our skyline. So there's many condo options in Brickell, and I feel like it's really important to hire somebody who is experienced and an expert in the Brickell market to make sure that you are getting exactly what you want, because you have many options in Brickell, but they're all so different. So when it comes to luxury, you can be very specific about what your needs are in Brickell so that you end up in the right property. The Mandarin Oriental is my favorite right now. It's been many years. It's a pre-construction project. Many years in the making. The developer owned this land for a long time and, hasn't done anything with it and was just waiting for, I think, the right time. I mean, it does require him closing the hotel because the hotel is going to also be brand new to match the condominium. You have the residences at 1428 Brickell, which is going to be pre-construction as well. But if you don't want to wait and you want something now, Brickell City Center, the two towers, Rise and Reach, offer great luxury finishes and amenities and services that connect directly to the mall, which you can fine dine if you want to and shop if you want to. There's many options in Brickell, and I feel that when it comes to luxury, you can be very specific about what you want and you'll probably find it.
Yeah, so if you wanted to be, I think, waterfront in Brickell, well, St. Regis for pre-construction, and then you have Asia and Brickell Key.
Correct.
You have Jade Brickell. But what's interesting is if you want very large property in a very new building, really your best options end up being the pre-construction properties that are being built right now.
Let's be honest, most buyers are, price conscious and they have a budget. So new construction versus something that is already delivered there's gonna be a price difference. So a big price difference. So I think that it's important that if somebody is searching in the luxury market that they explore both options. So that, which is what I do, is I try to, introduce them and explore both of those options so that they can compare themselves, because you do get sometimes a little bit more square footage for the price you're going to pay. And so sometimes these details matter. And so I think it's important for any buyer to explore the resale market and the pre-construction market, especially if, they have a budget.
Absolutely. Okay, now we're leaving Brickell and we're going down into the Grove, which is very different than the urban feel of Brickell and downtown and Edgewater. It's more of a village feel. They call it the village of Coconut Grove. What's your favorites there? What stands out?
Well, what stands out to me the most about Coconut Grove and differentiates it from all the other neighborhoods is there's a focus of marina life. So if you're a boater, a yachter, you are going to have very easy access. Right across the street, you have a few marinas, full service. They offer restaurants, fine dining. And I feel like those two worlds definitely connect for anybody who wants to be in a luxury condo and also have marina life without having to drive too far to it. So that's definitely where a luxury, a buyer looking for a luxury condominium that is into, boating and yachting.
And nature,
nature in general.
Lots of parks and.
There's lots of green space, parks as well. It's very walkable, very safe. Biking, running, all of it is conducive to the neighborhood. And there's a few favorites. I would say Park Grove. For something that is a newer construction, not necessarily pre-construction, and for pre-construction, the Four Seasons.
We hope that gives you a pretty good overview of the Miami area condo market, but you're probably asking, well, what are the price points? How can I figure out where my money will go in each of these neighborhoods?
So to get you into the luxury market, I feel that $2 million is, the price point to be able to get the amenities and the full service, spacious floor plans. And then if you really want to get into being affiliated with a hotel brand and the resort, style, lifestyle with,
more private,
more exclusive with, direct water views, the price point is going to be around $5 million for something that is new construction. There are some buildings that are already developed that will probably get you an entry point at around $3 million, to be on the ocean. So there's lots of options. I feel, the most important thing is that, there is something for everybody, whether it's oceanfront or, bayfront in the luxury market, affiliated with a hotel brand and resort-like, amenities or not, just strictly condominium.
Yeah, and basically that's what we're here for. There certainly are a lot of options, good ones, and different neighborhoods, and that's why we're here, to help you navigate and figure out what is a great match for what you're looking for. So feel free to call us for a private consultation. And Stephanie, who's our Director of Luxury Sales, is here to help you, as am I. So feel free to give us a call. And also, do not forget to subscribe and follow us so that you can continue to receive all this great content we put out just for you to help in your buying and selling decisions here in the South Florida luxury condo market. Hope you enjoyed this, and we wish you a wonderful day.